Hi, my name's Kelly. I'm a CBT therapist and psychologist, and today I wanted to talk to you about behavioural experiments. So behavioural experiments are things that we do in CBT when we want to test out a prediction of something. So for example, if we had someone that presented with us that thought that every time they went out, people would laugh at them. So their prediction is that every time that they'd go out, that people would laugh at them. That's what they think is going to happen. So what we want to try and do with that is we want to experiment with that, and we want to use behaviour to be able to experiment. So if you just have a think, what would be a good experiment for someone that thinks that when they go outside, everyone's going to laugh at them? So you want to have this conversation in your sessions with your client and think, okay, so how can we test this? Let's try and test this out. So together you think of an experiment. So it could be that as both of you go out together and do a tally of how many people laugh. Or it could be that the client goes out with a friend or someone that they can trust and do that experiment and get the friend to maybe tally how many people laugh at them. Or it could be that the client goes out themselves and makes a record of any time someone laughs at them. So that is just simply what we do. We want to experiment with the thing that people are predicting that's going to happen, whether it is in a social situation, whether it is just any sort of situation. Sure, it could be maybe any time that they get on a train that the train's going to crash, or any time that they go for dinner that the waiter's going to forget their order, and things like that. And you create the behavioural experiments. It's going to be different for every client that we work with. And what you do is, so you get that prediction. So what is it that they're predicting what's going to happen? So you've got that prediction. Then you're going to rate it. So how sure are they out of 100 that's going to happen? And at this point, you may want to go on just to plan the experiment, or you may think of maybe an alternative. So that maybe sometimes when they go out that people will laugh at them, or that one person will laugh at them, something like that. So it could be an alternative. So you can do that, and then you get them to rate how much they believe that alternative belief. And then you have the experiment. So you set up that experiment quite clearly. So you make it really, really explicit. You want to be aware of any sort of safety behaviours they may have. So it could be that when they go out, they only wear sunglasses, or they only go out at certain times of the day when it's quieter, so they can almost try and manage in their mind that their prediction won't come true. Or something that they feel maybe lessen their anxiety. So if they've got sunglasses on, then people can't see who they are. So therefore that people are less likely to laugh at them. So you really want to kind of really, really delve deep to kind of what are any of the safety behaviours and how can we manage them? And then you get the client to do the experiment. So you might get them to do it a couple of times, you might get them to do once, kind of depending on what the experiment is. I would say if you're able to do it more than once, then that's even better, because you're able to kind of experiment it on a few times. But what you need to make sure is that if the client, and when the client does the experiment, is that they record their experience. So what actually happened? What did they learn? Did loads of people laugh at them? Did one person laugh at them? Did no one even pay them any attention? What actually happened? And then get them to re-rate their prediction. So you want them to re-rate their original prediction and also the prediction that they may have made as that alternative prediction. And then you bring it back to the session, so you discuss it. And this is a really important part, that kind of they reflected on it, they re-rate those beliefs, see if there's been any change in those beliefs. And then when they bring it back to the session, be curious to what happened. And there's going to be sometimes that maybe a little part of the prediction comes true. Maybe someone may have laughed, but they weren't necessarily laughing at them, they were maybe on the phone laughing. So be aware of those sorts of, well, I walked past someone and they were laughing, but were they laughing at them? Were there any other reasons and explanations for why that person could be laughing? So be prepared to kind of really expand on it and really explore it. And there may be other behavioural experiments that come out of it that could be, and that's why I said about the repetition, because if they do it once, I'm like, okay, well, that day no one laughed at me, but then the next day they might. So if you do it a few times, you've got more and more evidence, and that's why it's an experiment, because you're gathering evidence to challenge that prediction that the client has. It can be used across disorders, and it's a really great core skill to use within CBT. So I hope you found this helpful, and be sure to check out my other videos. I talk about loads of CBT stuff, psychology, and hopefully you find something else useful there. Thank you.